Facebook family, what's happening? YouTube family, what's happening? All right. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I hope everybody had a great day today. Also hope that your blessings are being brought to fruition for you. And everybody in your family. So today, fam, we are going to talk about a couple of things that just happened. Hold on one second. I know I hate doing it this way, but I'm just gonna stop it because I don't want you guys to miss out on this. Matter of fact, what I will do, we'll change the music up, and we will use the music back here. Let's see if I can. Oh, I can't do it this way, can I? It's not gonna work for me because I got love blocking it. You know what I mean? But anyway, we're gonna go without it. Listen. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that we are now experiencing another mishap by the police. Okay, this time it's happening in Minneapolis. Okay, now we know that. Wow, man, it's crazy that these things are even occurring, and I don't know why uh, people who are running the system are even allowing this type of thing to go on, because it's subject to so many errors and mistakes, you know. And when you make an error like this and it causes someone's life, just an apology is not enough. An apology is not enough. And what else is not enough? Hold on one second. I'm gonna have to go ahead and get me some music, man. Yeah. So I have to lay this down. That's my love sign that I love so much. I love that love sign. It lights up for me as well. But I just can't do this without music. So I'm early still. So it's not really 5 quite yet. How much time? We got 5 minutes actually. So you guys are in on the setup. There you go. Doesn't that make you feel good? That makes me feel good. There you go. Not quite the music that I expected to use, but I hear a buzzing too. And I know why this buzzing is happening, because this phone is too close to the laptop. So I'm gonna go off on the side like this, do it this way. Okay, family, listen. It's very unfortunate that we lost another life behind the mistakes of police officers. And this particular life here, just like the Breonna Taylor life, any innocent life that is taken for whatever cases, if it's by the hands of the police, if it's by the hands of gang members, or just just foolishness, it's always a sad and horrible thing. So what we don't want is to ignore this. This is not something to ignore. This is something I think that we all families, no matter what color you are. It seemed to be happening to a lot of black people though, but of course, some people would beg to differ. And I'm not going to differ with anybody about that, because I'm looking at it pretty often. And we have to be concerned about this, because it can easily happen to any one of us or our family members. This is very important. Now, even though I brought up Breonna Taylor first, she was 26 years old when she was killed by a no-knock warrant. A no-knock warrant. They find it to be an edge up on the people that they are looking for. But apparently they have been making errors, and they're going into homes of innocent people. And when these innocent people try to defend themselves against an intruder, that gives them or warrant them the right to literally kill them in their home. That can't be justified in nobody's brain. There's no possible way that that's even justified. It's an error, and a life is taken. Now, we lost Amir Locke, a young brother who did not have a background of any type of criminal background at all. But still, we lose this brother. 22 years old. Breonna Taylor was 26. She was working very hard in the medical field to advance herself. We lost her. Now we lose a young man, Amir Locke, 22 years old. Minneapolis police. We got to think about that. We have to seriously sit back and think about it. My man, brother Lawrence Davis. I said, my man, brother. Nice to see you, my man. And I know that's another person you guys need to follow when it comes to music, is my man Davis, Lawrence Davis. Now, if you listen to his music, I can guarantee you it'll open your eyes in a lot of ways, because it has for me many, many times. So that's somebody, if you were thinking of young brothers, black brothers doing some positive things, that's one on my list. Nice to see you. Nice to have you here with me, my brother. Right? But here we are at the hands of the law, and they expect us not to defend ourselves. And this is a problem. This is a ferocious problem. How can you expect people not to defend themselves just because you, the law, deem it that you can do anything you want, anywhere to anybody, and literally walk away without having to take any responsibility? Right. No doubt. It's a lose-lose situation, isn't it? Yeah. But something has to be done. The best that we can do is to make sure that we always let it be known that when we see these type of injustices happening, we have to speak up. We can't stay quiet about it. We can't just sit by and be like, oh, thank God it wasn't I. Because only by the grace of God it wasn't you. You know? So it could happen at any moment. Now we have children coming up, and we better learn how to fight. Stand up for what's right. But of course we got to fight the right way, because, we don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to this law, these laws in this country. We really don't, because as you can see, they even when they started to talk about this particular killing of Amir Locke, is that they tried to defend the police officers. One, they released the tape very quickly because the young man had a gun to defend himself. But guess what? The gun was legal. He had the right to have that. He didn't even live there. He was literally visiting a family member. And the crazy thing about it is that they had a key to get in. They showed the entire walk. And I don't think they even showed the entire thing. They cut it off at certain points. But they made sure that they showed that gun, and they circled it and highlighted it, that he had a gun in his hand. His finger was not on the trigger, though. Now, mind you, dead sleep. and you hear all this ruckus, and then you hear something thumping at the couch that you're sleeping on. What are you going to do first if you have a weapon? You're going to grab your weapon and be prepared to defend yourself. That's what anybody would do. Let's flip this around and say it was a white man. He would have done the same thing. Defend himself where he lays his head. It was a legal gun. You can't go and say it wasn't legal, and you can't say he had a daggone criminal background because he didn't. You dig? Now they're searching right now to try to flip this story and make Amir a freaking criminal. I can bet you that's what they're trying to do. Because you see how fast they released that tape with the highlighted gun in his hand. Okay. Is that justification for shooting a man when you entered a home yelling and screaming? Of course, you are announcing who you were, but criminals do that too. When they break in a house and they really just want to off everybody in the house, they'll do the same thing with flashlights and everything. Just to get the guard down, the person who could possibly try to arm themselves. Fact. Yes, sir. That's right. And I wonder, being that a lot of them, they claim to be, highly trained, in these type of situations. They claim to be highly trained, and very knowledgeable of these type incidences. But for some reason, why are they making these errors? Like in the Breonna Taylor case, going to the wrong house. And in this case, killing the wrong person. And it was Jean was killed by an officer who went into the wrong apartment. Believe it or not, they fought hard to try to get her off. They gave her not enough time, I think, still. Now, Amir actually was starting up a business. This young brother was trying to start a business. He was working his way to starting a business. Not just that, he was into music. And he was starting something for young people to get involved with music as well. At 22 years old, man. 22 years old. We lost a diamond. Another one. How quiet should we be? Of course, the police want us to be quiet. Don't say a word. Don't call it what it was. An assassination. Yeah. A killing. A murder. It's not like, I murder you. Oops, I'm sorry. It was a mistake. All right, move on. Nothing happens. It should never be that way. Because if you and I accidentally murder somebody, we still have to go through due process. We're going to go through due process, and we'll be charged for something depending on who it is that we accidentally murder. Right? All these so-called things, stipulations that get in the way between a police officer who makes an error versus a civilian who makes an error. The same error. It could be the exact same error. Right? Now, if that young man would have shot one of them officers, they would have felt it justified to unload all of their weapons on this boy. Because he was defending himself out of a dead sleep. That's horrible to even think about. It's horrible to think about, and it should never be. No-knock warrants in every state should be dismantled. Do it the old-fashioned way. Catch the criminal on the street. Because you guys obviously don't know your hand from your butt, because you go and shoot up the wrong people and go to the wrong houses with all that so-called high tech that you have. How can you make that error? How did you not, how did you guys not even put into the figuring of no knock warrants that you may be running up on somebody that's an innocent individual who is armed legally and they don't know who you are. They have the right to defend themselves. I'll be dag nabbit if anybody try to tell me otherwise. That's just basic common sense. Yeah, if we don't even have a gun. If that brother didn't have a gun, they probably would have shot him dead anyway, you think? Because a lot of these police officers, this is sad to say, but it's true. A lot of these police officers are afraid. When they're doing their job, they rely on the guys that's with them. You know, that's where they get they strength and courage from. But they're scared to the bone. That's why they pull the trigger so fast. This is horrible. And if that's the kind of police officer that we're dealing with, and matter of fact, Mark Hanman was the shooter. Remember that name as well. Okay? He's the guy who killed Amir Locke. He pulled the trigger 3 times. Now, funny thing about it is that Amir heard them. He didn't know what was really going on, because you can tell, because he was up under the blanket in fear. So, of course, if he has a weapon nearby, he's going to go for that. I would have done the same thing. I would have done the exact same thing. Go for my weapon first. I don't care what they screaming and what they, kicking at me on the couch. If I was on the couch or if they with flashlights, I'm still going for my gun. Come on, man. That young man did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Nothing. But he lost his life out of a mistake, an error, or even fear. Maybe even just this thing of they can't wait to pull the trigger. That itching, what they call that, a itchy trigger finger. And when that opportunity comes, there's always one in the bunch that pulls the trigger faster than everybody else so he can say he made a kill. Mark Hanman, the shooter, the killer, is a killer. There's no way, ain't no way I'm going to look at that any different after watching the tape they released from the body cam. They killed that brother in cold blood. Cold blood. They killed that brother. You understand? It could have been you or I, or our kids, for that matter. We all should be upset, angry, and push for a change. If we don't push for a change, the same repetitious crap that's been going on all these years is going to continue when our kids, little kids, get old. That's still going to go on. We have to fight in the best way that we can. A lot of us have the vigor to go out into the streets and protest. A lot of us protest with social media, such as I, right now. And we spread that information. We talk to each other worldwide. And it won't just be us in the United States that's upset about this type of activity. It'll be other countries as well. No knock warrant, they had a key. Of course, they had to collaborate with somebody to get the key to ease in that house that way. Stealth-like, right? Catch him off guard, catch him sleeping. I don't even know what time of morning it was, but brother was sleeping. Probably getting ready for work the next day, which he never saw because of this simple error, this horrible, tragic error. Yes. That's right. I'm reading something my brother Lawrence has said. I'm trying to keep up with him. but he going to town here. You know, y'all know me. I'm not the fastest reader either, right? But this situation is something that we all. I don't care what walk of life you come from. If you're here in America, even if you're in another country, that don't even that is not even the thing that should be a law to enter someone home like that. Actually, it just sounds like one of those barbaric countries. Like Russia would do something like that. Just go barging in people's houses because they're not supporting their party. Right? You get okay. So no, I'm still, when you see me pause like that, I'm actually reading something that my brother wrote. But understand something, y'all, that if we don't start thinking about banding together, that is going to be the key to a lot of things. Now, can we ever erase the problem of racism itself? Now, I'm not saying that it was a racist move, but when you commit a murder like that and an accident, and then you try to cover it up, you see that makes you criminal right there. And your motivation for trying to cover something like that up, why? Because it was a black man? See, these are the questions that we always have. And ain't nobody gonna tell me, oh, why are you gonna throw race in it? Hey, why not? Look how the country was formed, right? That's the way I see this whole situation here, and the laws that they have. Who does the laws does not benefit a lot of black and brown people. That is a fact. That is a fact. It does not benefit. And yet, and as you can see, they bend the laws to favor themselves. Them, the lawmakers, the people who's supposed to serve and protect. It's almost like they have, uh, uh, like the right by law to shoot first a black man and then sort it out later because we'll get you off. That's the mentality a lot of these people have. We don't know who's who. Just because they wear a blue uniform, are we supposed to automatically assume that because they're wearing the uniform that they're right people, they're good individuals upholding the law? We're supposed to automatically assume that. That's how the system was set up. That we're supposed to trust the peace officers to serve and protect. We're supposed to just give our all trust into them, right? I see a lot of black people that just can't do that. You ask me, can I do it? No, I cannot, because I don't know what I'm getting. In that blue uniform, I don't know what I'm getting. Right? Forrest Gump said that. As far as chocolate, you never know what you're gonna get in a box of chocolate. Right? And it's the same situation here. There are even white people who feel fear when they get pulled over by a police officer, because they feel like that at any moment something, a riot could happen and they can get shot, just like what they've been seeing on the news and hearing in social media. But still, yet here it is. Amir Locke, we lost this brother, sleeping on a couch, visiting a family member. Now, I don't know about you, but me personally, I'm extremely upset. I grieve for the family because I have a 22-year-old son. My son is the same age as Amir. That thing it's deep, man. I feel that. I fear for my son all the time. Even if he's living somewhere else right now on his own, doing his own thing, but still yet, I have that feeling, that fear inside, not knowing that if he's going to run across one of them bad cops out there that just want to just do some dirt to him because he's young and got dreadlocks. And he's tall. He's a very tall man. He's not a very aggressive person, but if you put him in a corner, yes, he will come out fighting. That's what he's been taught to do. And I fear for him every day. I pray for him every day. My daughter's the same thing. One of my daughters are here with me now. I have less worries with her. But the other two children, I'm still concerned because they go to and fro. They're everywhere. So you have to have that level of concern and still wanting to pray for them. This is very, very vital to all of us. And this is why we have to reach the young people to be in a positive state of mind as much as they possibly can, to give them no reason. When I say them, I'm talking about bad police officers, even though they might be doing all the right things and still get caught up by a bad cop. He's no longer a cop in my eyes once he's considered that level of bad. He's a criminal. Bottom line, a criminal. Call it for what I see it, for what it is. Right? So family, let's all take that moment. If you can just say some good words about this young brother that we lost, Amir Locke, post it. Post something to the family if you could. Do something. Speak out against this no-knock warrant. Let's do more of it. The more of us that do it, the more we can probably make a change, or the better that we can make a change. This is what's important. We cannot be silent when these things happen. This is my whole push with this little platform that I have. This small platform that I have. I am pushing it as much as I possibly could to bring awareness to us Black and brown people and the lovers of Black and brown people. To bring awareness and never to just sit back idle while these things are occurring. When it's time to vote, we vote against the people who are trying to uphold this particular type of law or this particular type of system. We vote against that crap. So if our vote don't count, for a lot of you who think, oh, your vote don't count, no matter how you cast your vote, they're going to do what they want anyway. For those of you who think that way, why do you think that they're fighting so hard to prevent us from voting? Think about that, will you? Think about that. Why do you think they're fighting so hard to prevent you from voting? To discourage you in the local elections, in the primary elections, and in the major election? Why do you think they're always trying to throw you off? Trying to make it complicated for you to vote so you can get frustrated and walk away from the booth, or not even make it to the booth, or not even mail your ballot in. They're trying to make it very hard for you, Black and brown people, and the lovers of Black and brown people. They're making it hard for you. There's a purpose and a reason why, because your vote does mean something. They're not going to tell you that. They don't want you to know their little dirty secrets to win. They will cheat, steal, and kill to win, to stay on top, to stay in control. So they can continue stuff like this no-knock warrant on as many Black and brown people as possible. Like they're trying to eliminate us one by one by the law and make it okay. And they still get to walk free. Free. Raise their family, live, eat good food, watch their kids graduate. But take yours away and lock up your fathers, the men of your family. Lock them up, kill them, choke them out, do whatever you can. Let the laws be the reason why it's okay to do. Why do you think so many people don't like these laws? Because these laws don't benefit us in a lot of ways. And there's only one way we can make that happen. Maybe. It's a continuous battle. That's just like the battle between good and evil. Constant battle. You can't let up on it. Soon as you let up, that's when you give them just that little more extra room to have the advantage on you. And this particular type of law, no-knock warrants, in every state in this country, it should never be. You want to catch a criminal? Monitor them a lot better when they leave particular homes. If you know that they're in that home, if you're sure they're in that home, and they come out that home, catch them outside their home, because there's innocent people inside the home that may not have nothing to do with this crime that they may have committed. But you guys are just so okay with that thing. And I think that it should stop. And a lot of us think it should stop. That's one of the things out of many that should not be. If you want to make it a fair game or fair right across the board for all of us to make success equal, then stop trying to suppress the black and brown people. Don't be scared of us. Don't be afraid that we're going to rise up and turn the tables and put you in bondage one day. We ain't thinking about that mess. But what we're thinking about is stopping you from abusing us the way that you are. That's what we're thinking about. That's what we want. Yeah. We think about the past that got us in this position that we're here today. The slavery that you guys are trying to eliminate out of history, trying to delete it. That is ridiculous to try to delete history. We'll never forget that. And the things that we see you doing right now today with the laws that you've come up with, we are not happy with it. Because every time you take an innocent life, even if he was guilty, which he was not, this wasn't right to do. The way that it was done. And the officer, Mark Hinman, I got to keep looking at his name because I want to make sure that you guys get it right. Mark Hinman is a killer, okay? So I'm not going to go long with this one today. I am feeling some type of way, and I just want to say condolences to the family, the mother and father, the entire family, that they lost such a good young man. This is a hard pill to swallow, and to the Breonna family as well, and everybody else who we may have lost to mistakes and errors and bad cops and racism and just stupid activities. Condolences go out to each and every family who lost a loved one. This should prompt us to talk more to our young people as well, because we don't want to lose any more if we can help it. But of course, we understand the process of life. But let's try to minimize the mistakes and the errors and the racism of losing our children to. Keep them grounded in God, man. Keep them grounded in the better things of life. Like Amir. Amir was thinking of doing some good things. He was young, man. He had dreams. All that was wiped out inside of 9 seconds. When you count from the time they walked in that door, you start counting. It took 9 seconds to end his entire dreams in his future. Never to even bear children and get married and have a family and have a home and watch their kids graduate. Man, that's hard to take, man. That's extremely hard to take. And my heart right now is crushed, man. To think that they can treat us that way and then try to cover it up. That's the part that makes them criminals. First, they're criminals to try to cover it. A mistake is a mistake. Own it. Own up to it. Own your mistake when it happens, man. But you become the real criminal when you try to cover it up. It's almost like you intended to do it. So, family, let's take a moment for Amir Locke. We pray for him, his family. I have mixed emotions about this. And I'm like hurt first, you know? And then it makes me angry. So I'm flip-flopping between the two. There are times where if I allow myself to get extremely angry, it makes me want to physically go and do something. And then if I think about we lost such a precious person. Now, he was young. He did exactly what young people do. And he felt the need to have to own a gun. And it was legal. The gun was legal. And he had that right as an American citizen to own that gun. He did all the right things to obtain it, man. All the right things. But they just can't fathom us having weapons to defend ourselves. But they show them off themselves as trophies and have as many as they want. Actually, too many for a citizen to even should have. But they have that right. But to see a black man with it is a threat. That's the first thing they thought about it. Now, when you go back and watch this video, at the time of the shooting, the killing, watch where Amir's fingers, or his trigger finger was when they shot him. It was not on the trigger. It was at a safety point. It was not on the trigger. It was at a safety point when he picked that gun up. Because I'm pretty sure what was going through his mind, him trying to gather it all together, coming out of a dead sleep like that, is that he hear people yelling, police, 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 but he knew where his gun was. No knock warrant. And then everybody's yelling and screaming like that. It sounds pretty distorted, I'm pretty sure. It probably just sounded like a bunch of screaming and yelling, and no words really was understood coming out of a dead sleep. I'm pretty sure. Because when I wake up startled sometime, I have to pull myself together a few seconds just to find out, get my faculties and see what in the world's going on. You can imagine all that ruckus when they finally start announcing who they were and everybody's yelling and screaming at this man. And lights flashing in his eyes, blinding him. So he don't know who's what and he didn't know nothing. He was confused. All he knew was to grab his protection. To grab it. But he didn't have his finger on the trigger when he picked it up. Take a good look at that part. They didn't even give him a chance. That brother had no chance when they barged in there. He couldn't ask a question. All they know is gun. And I don't see the part where he pointed the gun at them. He picked that gun up though. But I don't see the part where he pointed the gun at them to prompt them to shoot. All that's being investigated right now. So before I sit here and start crying in front of you guys over this, I'm going to cut this off. And y'all take the time to write something good about the people we lost. This is Black History Month, yes. But I think that we all should be on a crusade to try to make everybody understand that life is precious. Should never be taken for granted at all. Trust in God, believe in God, pray to God for your protection and your family's protection. And Brother Amir Locke, and Breonna Taylor, and all the other people that we may have lost. God bless your souls, man. On that note, fam, peace and love. Treat people like you want to be treated, and it'll come back around, because it has for me. Yeah, this is not one of those upbeats videos. This is kind of sad for me. So on that note, y'all, I love you. And continue to love each other the best that you can, please. Peace.